Good morning. Welcome back to the library. It was so nice seeing you in your Zoom classrooms last week, and this week it's nice seeing you on YouTube too. So this week we are reading a story called Old Rock. Well, actually it's called Old Rock, and then in parentheses it says, is not boring. This is a story by Deb Pilutti, and I guess we'll find out if Old Rock is boring or not boring. My first thought is an Old Rock might be boring, but maybe not. I'm not sure. So let's read it and find out. Old Rock is not boring. Old Rock had been sitting in the same spot at the edge of a clearing in the middle of a pine forest for as long as anyone could remember, and even before that. Being a rock seems awfully boring, said Tall Pine. You sit in the same spot day after day, said Spotted Beetle. It's a very nice spot, said Old Rock. Don't you want to go anywhere? Asked Hummingbird. I've flown all over the world and sipped the nectar of exotic flowers. I would surely be bored if I could not fly. I flew once, said Old Rock. Gosh, said Tall Pine. How? Asked Spotted Beetle. Rocks don't fly, said Hummingbird. Old Rock told them about the time in the beginning when darkness was all around. And then I erupted out of a volcano and soared through a fiery sky into the bright light of a new world. So it was just that one time, said Hummingbird. And now you're sitting here, said Tall Pine. Being bored, said Spotted Beetle. I'm not bored, said Old Rock. Don't you want to see more? Asked Spotted Beetle. If I climbed to the tip-top branch of Tall Pine, I might see a deer mouse nibbling seeds in a nearby tree, or watch ships sailing across the big lake. Old Rock said, I've seen a lot. Old Rock told them about the time a group of friendly dinosaurs lumbered by, munching every leaf in sight. Then, many years later, a not-so-friendly dinosaur came looking for a meal. No, I haven't seen her. Thanks. Time passed. Things changed, and the world chilled. Which wasn't too bad because Old Rock took a ride in a glacier and toured the land. Wow. Once the glacier melted, it left me perched on top of a ridge, and I could see the place where the sky touches the earth. My, you have seen a lot, said Spotted Beetle. How unusual, said Hummingbird. Yes, but that was ages ago, said Tall Pine. Aren't you bored now? Don't you want to move? My limbs flutter gently in a breeze and dance wildly when the wind blows. I've never danced, but I'm pretty good at doing somersaults, said Old Rock. Old Rock revealed that after teetering on the edge for a while, the ground rumbled, and I tumbled and I stumbled down, 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 into a valley. Shouldn't you be roaming? Grasses grew, mastodons roamed, and lakes formed. I never knew a rock had moves like that, said Tall Pine. I wish I could have seen those things, said Spotted Beetle. What happened next? asked Hummingbird. A pine forest sprouted up around me. One day, a strong breeze shook a pine cone loose. From the pine cone, a seed fell onto the forest floor. I watched that seedling grow to be the tall pine who dances in the wind and keeps me company. Sometimes a spotted beetle wanders along to report all that he sees. And every so often, the loveliest hummingbird stops to rest after a long flight, and she describes the amazing places that she's visited. It's a very nice spot, said Old Rock. Yes, it is, agreed Tall Pine. Very nice, said Spotted Beetle. Not boring at all, said Hummingbird. The end. And then in the back of the book, it does talk a little bit about the rock's journey and how it started 18 billion years ago, up to present day, where it's sitting in the forest next to a tall pine, a spotted beetle, and a hummingbird. The end. So sometimes there's an old saying that says, don't judge a book by its cover. So sometimes we might look at an old rock and think, an old rock. But then if we think about the places that rock has been, he has a pretty interesting story. And all of us have interesting stories too. So hopefully you'll have a chance to share some of your story today. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for listening. Bye.